YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to another Tuesday evening here at Beyond Authentic. We're going to be doing some tarot readings tonight. And yeah, hopefully we're going to have a really, really lovely evening. I'm just making sure the phone doesn't interrupt us. I can't even speak again. What is wrong with me today? So it's been a hell of a week this week, this past Tuesday to Tuesday. If you were here on Sunday, you will have seen us, or you've seen me, ending up doing a couple of mediumship things, which was a bit of a surprise to me, I've got to say. But, you know, if that's what is happening on the streams, then that's what's happening on the streams. Hopefully we won't be doing any of that today, though, because I am not inclined to start that, put it that way. There's been a lot happening in life and in general, but as far as the channel is concerned, it's all very good at the moment. I'm looking at the numbers on another screen. Let me just refresh this, actually. And yeah, we're still not at the monetization point, but as those of you who know me well, you will know that I'm not actually worried about that at the moment at all, in fact, because if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's that many adverts on the channel at the moment that I don't think it will make much difference in the way that people view the channel, because you're already getting a load of adverts from us, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that is what that is going to be, unfortunately. It just means we don't get the cut off the adverts, so YouTube gets all of that. Anyway, never mind. We've got some housekeeping. So as always, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all your own decisions. I let me take these off because of the glare. There you go. You can see my eyes now. Why do I just spend so much time doing my eye makeup only to then put glasses on and you can't see it? I know, right? But yeah, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, please seek out support in those areas from professionals. Don't go on the internet looking for support. Especially BetterHelp. I didn't say that. I did say that, but I didn't say that. Don't sue me, BetterHelp. It's in my opinion only, my personal opinion, not the opinion of YouTube or any of my mods or members or anything like that. But it is in my opinion. Don't do that. Anyway, seek out a professional, a proper professional. Also, you got to be 18 years of age. You got to be 18 year age. Yeah, 18 year age. That's what you got to be. I currently am 39 year age. So yay. What age are you? You got to be 20. Oh, Jesus. Honestly, I haven't been drinking. Honestly, I swear down. So you've got to be 18 years of age or over. Okay, that's really important. You've also got to be very aware that you keep your internet privacy safe. Now, what I mean by that is don't start putting things in the comment section that are really personal. Don't dox yourself. If there's anything you don't want, like your boss to know, your future boss to know, your spouse or your future spouse to know, your children to know, don't put it on the internet, right? That is the rule of thumb. If you don't want it to come up in 10 years' time, don't put it on the internet now. Even though we're a tiny channel, small little microscopic channel in the grand scheme of things, the information that gets put in our comments could still come up years down the line on the Wayback Machine and search engines. We know that Google and other search engines are that advanced now. Imagine what that's going to be like in 10 years' time. You'll be able to see what somebody wrote in their yearbook because everything will be digitized. So please just take your own personal internet safety and security. Please put that high up there, if that makes sense. So then let me have a wee look at who is joining us. See, this is where I've got to put the old lady gogs back on. Let's see who is joining us. Where did I get to on the thing? Patricia is here, Nanette is here, Ed is here, Holland is here. I've said hello to all of you. Good evening. Renata is here. I hope things went well, Renata. I really do. Hi, Flower Beauty, Peacock Rainbow. Hi. Don't worry about me, Patricia. I'm just the Muppet sat in the chair. That's fine. Thank you, my darling. It gives my hair a bit of a breather. I don't have to style it and worry about it too much. I'm trying with the headscarves and the hats to actually allow the air to get to my scalp without messing around with the hair follicles, to try and do something with the alopecia. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, that will help. I'm really pleased for you there, Renata. Look, you answered me before I even asked the question. Necro Neil is here. We will arrange a chat, Neil, at some point very, very soon. Yes, everybody. I wish I was a Brit and could walk around with all your fabulous hats and headgear. Well, why not? Why not? You don't have to be a Brit. This is just a headscarf. It makes me look like I'm Eastern European. And in fact, I was doing a reading for somebody on Sunday. We met in a cafe, and I said to Rufus, all I need is some big hoop earrings, and I would look like the stereotypical Romany fortune teller, like just what I was wearing. And it was all unintentional. And literally, I walked past, caught my reflection. I was like, oh, I look like a real cliche, don't I? But it was fine. It was fine. Everybody chatting in the group. I'm understated. Am I understated? I've got 3 different shades of purple on my eyes, a bit of mascara. I've got a brown underneath. I've got brown in the eyebrows. You know, I'm repping. This keeps wanting to fall off. I didn't put a hair grip in. Oh, because I haven't got a hair grip there. That'll be why I didn't do it then. Right. So, let me just go through the comments. I'm going to whack one hair grip in while I do the comments. So what else was I reading then? Judy's here as well. Good evening, Judy. Oh, thank you. You just popped in and tapped the like button. That is lovely of you. Thank you, Judy. Mr. Lynn's here. Hello, Mr. Lynn. Good evening to you. Elaine Butler. Hello, Elaine. Good evening to you. I think I've said hello to everybody who's on the live. Queen 707. Gosh, we've got loads in tonight. Good evening, Queen 707. I hope you are well as well. It's going to be a good evening tonight. I can feel it in my water. I can feel it in my water. I feel it in my fingers and in my bladder too. I'm sure that was the song. That's the lyrics, isn't it? Bearing in mind, I'm very forgetful with lyrics, which is why if I don't do karaoke, then you don't very rarely hear me sing more than a couple of lines from a chorus these days, because I can't remember anything. I know, right? I used to be the one on stage writing my own lyrics to well-known popular songs and doing my own parody versions and things like that. And yet now here I am. Why is that flopping over there like that? And here I am now, unable to remember the basics. I know, right? Shocking. So we're going to start on with some reading. So we've done all of the housekeeping. I will do some housekeepings. No, it's not Ed. We'll do Nightbot soon. We need to sit down. Basically, I've been quite busy this last couple of weeks on general stuff. So yeah, we do need to do that. Oh yes, thank you very much, Patricia. Can everybody please hit that like button, give it a big old thumbs up, and then don't forget to do the things, you know, the YouTubey things. Hit the subscribe button and then ding your bell to let YouTube know that you want to watch content like this, okay? And then change your settings to all. That's really important, because as somebody said to me yesterday, in fact, I didn't get a notification for your video. Were you live on Sunday? And I said, yes, I was. And that person was the nibbling. So even my own family members didn't get a notification. So it is really important to hit that bell, change your settings to all, and then that will hopefully mean that YouTube should, I know, right? So many caveats, but it should then give you a notification. So yes, thank you ever so much. Thank you, Renata. Renata hit the like button before your first comment. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. So that's the way to do it. I love the fact that none of the American viewers or worldwide viewers will know what that's the way to do it said in that really squeaky voice means. But anyway, it is Mr. Punch from the Punch and Judy show. Should we just leave it there and not explain it any further? Look up on Google. It was a whole thing. Right then, we've done all of the housekeeping. Let's go ahead and open the first round. So how would you get a tarot reading on this channel? It's simple. There are two ways to do it. Look at me pressing the wrong button. There you go. To request a reading, all you need to do is send your question as a super chat. That will guarantee your reading is next, or in this case, that your reading is first. I will then read, or you can wait until we open up a free round, in which case I will pick one of those at random. If you are not chosen at random, then please select and copy your question and hold it for the next free round. Okay. And hopefully if you're here for, you know, a couple of free rounds, we do tend to get through quite a few on a good evening. So yeah, that would be the, Patricia's been unsubscribed 3 times now, and you're one of the moderators. That is weird. Weird. You hit the notifications for this live and you weren't notified when I went live. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do with YouTube for that. I'm not a big enough channel to go, oh, YouTube, what's happening? But I will try and send an email if I can and just question it. Do you know what ends up happening is that I look on other sites like Reddit, and even in the comments on like TubeBuddy videos and things, and then see whether it's happening to other creators. Because if you ever have to email YouTube, you don't get anything except for a standard response message, basically. Anyway, go ahead and do the thing. So if you want a question, go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, start your question with question, and I will get to one of those at random. If you want to guarantee that you are the first cab off the rank, then you need to go ahead and send it as a super chat. And just in case you don't know what any of that means, here is R. Graham with a quick so it makes me laugh every time I say it. R. Graham with a quick recap. Yes, because this is Blind Date circa 1989. Okay, let me just have a look. Blind Date. Yes, exactly. It's Blind Date. And here is your host, Miss Lisa Lee. Press the applause button. That's not applause. I haven't got the applause button anymore. Damn it. Yes, so we've got Queen 707 and Flower Beauty. Flower Beauty, you asked last Tuesday, you asked about you and the person, and then this Tuesday you asked, I know we ended up changing it, but you do keep asking relationship questions. You need to give everything a time to work out, my darling. You need to give it time to work out. Who was it before Lily Savage? It was Miss Cilla Black. It's Miss Cilla Black. Do 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 do. Boom. And then she did a little curtsy kick. Yes, so there. Oh, I can see that happening. So your Holland's other half is trained to remind them about Lisa's lives when Holland forgets. Although on Saturday, he earnestly tried to convince them it was Sunday. And they panicked. I can see that happening. Having met your other half on several occasions, I can absolutely see that happening. I'll tell you what I will do then, Flower Beauty, to make sure it's perfectly fair. I will toss the talisman. Let me just, I know, right? If you're new here, that might get a very different one. You just got a message from AARP, don't know what that is, saying they're going to treat you to a free book every month. I don't know what that is. I don't know what AARP is. No idea. Something ARPing, ARP, the All-American Republican Party. That sounds weird, doesn't it? I don't think it's that. The Allied Artist Retro Players from that actually, do you know what? I would love that. I'm just going to toss the talisman. I'm just trying to get it out the bag. I've tied up the bag. Why did I do such a stupid thing like that? The Allied Artists, whatever I said, reproduction party, right? Oh no, the reproduction players, the repo players. That would be amazing, because Allied Artists is an old movie studio from back in the day. So it would be like the resurrection of all of the like dead studio, you know, like all the proper big Hollywood stars from like the 60s, 40s to the 60s, when Allied Artists was a thing. And then they'd all be like resurrected to do modern films. Could you imagine? That would be awesome. Why has nobody made a film like that? Why has nobody done a film like that? Do you know what I mean? That would be amazing. Do you not think that would be amazing? Like, get actors, use a bit of AI, get someone that looks like them, AI it, make it look like it's the American Association of Retired Persons. Is it? Oh, I didn't know that. No, it doesn't mean that, Renata. Right, so when we toss the talisman, I still think, do you not think that would make an amazing film or an amazing like Disney Plus series, where you get all of the like actors that look like, and the rights to redo them, and we basically have, oh look, this is the one we're going to use today, which is is it Earth? It is Earth. Yay, we got Earth. So this is the talisman we're going to toss. Good evening to Luhu. Good evening to you, my darling. Right, where were the questions? There we go. I love reading for Flower Beauty. You are the symbol Flower Beauty. Queen 707. Once you move abroad, will you get to live separately away from your sister MS? Okay, we'll have a look. So Queen 707, you're the writing. Flower Beauty, Peacock Rainbow, you are the symbol, and we are going to do what we always do the symbol up and toss the talisman. Flower Beauty, Peacock Rainbow, that is turned up for you, my darling. So you are getting a 3-card love reading. So we'll have a look at that. Now we're going to use the big giant Poppy Palin Everyday Enchantment deck. This is one of my favorite decks. And yeah, Queen 707, do me a favor, copy and paste this question. Select and copy. I always say copy paste. Select and copy your question, my darling, and then put it in once I've done Flower Beauties, unless we get a doodah, what's it called, a super chat in. If we get a super chat in, then I will do it. I will open up another round when I can. Does that make sense? Am I making sense tonight? I don't know. I am absolutely now fixated about the idea of this Allied Artists resurrection players. I think that would be amazing. I want to see that now. There we are. Cleanse the space. Wispy. Could you imagine, like, American Horror Story does a series where each of the actors and actresses plays like old Hollywood and they're all resurrected? That'd be amazing. I really want to see that. Wispy, good evening. Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow has a question. Can I have a love reading for the next few months? Well, we can't really do few months because, as you know, on a standard 3-card, there's only enough detail to really go for the we can do the immediate, the kind of month ahead, and we can push it to the second month, I guess. There's just not enough. Oh, we've had a card flip. There's just not enough information in a 3-card reading to do months, unfortunately. So we've got the 5 of coins coming up. Now it's come up reverse. So this is your clarifying card. You can see here, this person is in a British pub, probably. I can tell that by the pint of beer. They're in the pub. They're gambling on the fruit machine. So you can see the 5 coins. We've got the dog begging here, and we've got people left out in the snow. This poor person has a mug or a cup, probably asking for coins. Okay, that's what the card is giving. We've got a disabled person there in the background and someone else there walking, and the child with their face up against the window. Now, in a traditional deck, this will be a stained glass window. Obviously, in this deck, it's a pub. Now, the 5 of coins has 2 meanings. One, it's talking about charity. So it's talking about giving to those around you, giving to those in need, helping to support others. When it's this way up, I see it as if you are going to be spending some time the other side of the stained glass window for a while. Now, 5s are times of turmoil, times of difficulty, and what this card is saying is that overall, romantically, I think you're going to be going through a time of difficulty in growth of romance, because the coins is about growth. Your question is so specifically a love reading that it really does feel as if, you know, basically the oh, hang on, let me just move that across to that screen so I can see. There you go. Basically, it feels like there's not going to be any growth in your romance sector, if you like, for the coming couple of months. It's not going to happen. You might meet people, you might have, you know, flirtations, you might meet someone, go on dates, but it doesn't feel like there's going to be any major growth there. But we will see what the cards say as we go through the reading. So then, oh, we're going to there as your drop. Okay. And as always, once the cards chuck out a clarifying or modifying card, that's when all of that stops. We stop the shuffling. So we do have the Ace of Wands coming up in the this will be the present position. In the immediate future, we've got the World reversed, and in the following month, so this would be March, and this would be probably into April, towards the back end of April. So we've got the Ace of Wands coming in. Now, the Ace of Wands, aces are about new starts, new projects, new adventures. You can see this person is waiting to start painting. So it's the blank page. So you're at a period at the moment where you are a blank page, if you like. You've got this confidence that you need to start leaning into. You need to start building your own confidence before even thinking about a partner or any possibility. So that, with this element of there not being any growth, not being any, you know, long-term anything happening at the moment, no seeds being sown for no growth to happen, this seems to make sense with this card, which is talking about you. It's saying that you need to restart your confidence, restart your self-esteem, and get to the point where you're able to feel more confident and more whole as a person, even without a partner. Next month, as we go into March, you've got the World reverse. Now, the World, if I show you this case, we've got the aunts. So these are the aunts, and you can see they are global aunts. And we've got this element of the fields being knitted. The whole world is being knitted and created. Now, this is a really lovely depiction of the world, because normally the World card is a little bit different, but it's still kind of got the same symbolism. So the World card is talking about a portal, and in this case, that portal is, we've got the aunts here creating this new world, giving it life, and there being all of this abundance of possibilities. But this is reversed, which means there may be possibilities coming up next month, but the possibilities might not be right for you, my darling. So it doesn't feel as if there is this long-term romance on your doorstep happening anytime soon. It's almost like this is saying that there are going to be opportunities, but you need to not go down that road yet, because this is so new. This building your confidence is so new. It's like, don't go for anything. Don't jump into something just because somebody smiles at you in the checkout of Walmart. Don't kind of go, okay, you're going to be my husband now. Because it's like, these are not options for you yet. Because the World is reversed, it's saying, you know, this is not something you want to jump into. It's not finished yet, literally, right? They haven't finished knitting it yet. The world is not ready yet for you to jump into that space. And then finally, we've got the 8 of Cups. Now, the 8 of Cups, I love this depiction of the 8 of Cups, because you've got all of this washing up and cleaning to do. And the sprites and the world is basically advising you, look, the door is open. This is where you need to head. You need to start looking for the next steps, okay? And Cups is your romance suit. So this looks like a particular messy card, but this is absolutely saying, look, you've got all of this. This is like a single person's situation, if you like. We've got, you know, there are cups, but you've got one with lipstick on. This one's got some orange juice in. There's cups and mugs. It looks like it might be for two people because you've got two egg cups, but they don't match. You've got all this rubbish everywhere. And this person is stood in the kitchen with their head down, kind of going, I've had enough. And that gateway there, that is the path to the 9 of cups. That is the path to, you know, following the future. You've got the full moon here, which is saying, again, full moon comes in. It gives us an idea of 28 days. It always does because of that cycle element. So I think that if anything is coming up, it will be towards or even after the 28th, the end of April, before something, is that right? March, April. Yes, it is. Before something comes up, because I think this again is talking about you deciding what path you need to go on and what is most important. But it starts with this, Flower Beauty. It starts with this. It starts with gaining your confidence, not going off anywhere, not looking for growth, not looking for anything, gaining your confidence, being part of the world, but not jumping into anything, because I don't think anything that's offered at the moment is going to be right, because you need to complete this task, and then starting to look forward and starting to go on that journey from, yeah, literally I would say this is the back end of April. I hope that helps, my darling. It's probably not what you're looking for, but as I always say, I can only give you the guidance that you need, not necessarily the answers that you want, but that is what the cards are giving me today, my darling. So thank you ever so much for your question. Right then, let me just pop these back in. They're very big cards, these. I've seen some people like shave them down the sides. I don't want to do that, because I love the cards being as they are. Right then, let me have a look. See, let me change the camera. There we go. Oh, turn that light off. Sorry for blinding you all, y'all. Right, so let's have a look. Yeah, you did get a tune out of me. I know, right? You've got through to interview on the job you asked about. Oh, cool. Good. I absolutely wish you luck. Wish you all the luck in the world. I don't know whether you can see the, where is it? The O here in love is, oh, actually, I can show you. Look, I can do this. Of course I can. Look, it's an evil eye. So we are banishing the evil eye with love. That is what that represents. Hang on, where is it? Just turn the mic, not turn the doodad. Right, there we go. And I've got an evil eye emblem in there. Emblem. That's right, not emblemum. Sounds like I'm trying to say blancmange. Emblemonge. That's nice of you, Nanette. They need to change name because you're a member, but sure the heck not retired. Absolutely. I'm trying to see where you might not want the book. Exactly. That would be great. I would love it. American. Well, apparently American Horror Story is coming back. That's what I mean. I think I watched the one after Coven, but don't know. Oh my god, you've counted them, and I bet you've got them on a doodad, don't you? On a spreadsheet. Wow. Okay, wow, that is bonkers. Where is, yeah, there is. The reason for your obsession is you are the fountain of all knowledge. Did we not get a comment from Flower Beauty? Oh, cool. It sounds good. Right, I'm just scoping past all of the thingies. Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, it's literally just what happens. Flower Beauty is literally just what happens. Oh, you got a database. I bet you have. Right then, it looks like we are all up to date with the comments and everything. Shall we go for another free round? Don't forget, if you want to send your message, if you want a longer reading, a 6 or 7 card reading, if you would like it as a longer reading, that doesn't make any sense. If you would Sorry, I'm literally doing 3 things at once as I'm trying to talk. So if you would like a reading that is 6 or 7 cards long, a little bit more detailed, going into a little bit more info, if you like, because of the extra cards, you can send that as a super chat. That will come through directly to me. And then what that means is that it comes through on a different screen. It's easier for me to read. And as I say, you do get a longer reading. What I also do, any of the money I make from tarot overall, not just here on YouTube, but on Fiverr, and also if I do private readings and private events and things, 10% goes to Fight Bladder Cancer, and 10% goes to Bladder Cancer UK. So yeah, that's what we do it for, because I obviously got a lot of support from them over the last couple of years dealing with my own bladder cancer story. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Go ahead and do the things right now. Put it in the live chat if you would like to gamble for a freebie one. If you would like to guarantee that you are the next cab off the rank, go ahead and send it as a super chat. Either way, do that now. Okay, let me have a look. Oh, we have no questions in. Okay. Okay, well, in that case, that's it from us all tonight. We'll see you again next week very soon. We have no questions in. Wow, we haven't been at this stage without questions in for a long, long, long time. How is Wispy so astute? There is one question. I've just seen it pop in. Wispy is so astute because... Oh, thank you. I just saw it. That means Queen 707, your reading is going to be up next. So do hold yourself there, because I said there wasn't any, and there was one. Right. How is Wispy so astute? I tell you what Wispy is. Wispy is an egregore, servitor, tulpa, one of those things. And Wispy is my link to the Akashic Records. Okay. The Akashic Records, I believe, is like... It's like Patricia's book and tarot and probably crystal and incense database that she's created, which is a whole database that she has access to of all of the books and things that she's got of a spiritual, spooky dooky nature, right? So the Akashic Records are sort of a great big huge library with books for each of us with our life story in, and they are written as we go along. But also they have, if you like, for me, it feels like they have a next chapter synopsis, so that the writer of the book, whoever you deem that to be, has an idea where the story needs to go. Now, we as individuals can change our story if we wake up one day. If you wake up, for example, tomorrow, Flower Beauty, and you say, do you know what? I am not interested in any relationship at all for 6 months. I'm not going to have any relationship with anybody. Nobody at all. I'm going to look after number one. I'm just going to focus on myself. And even if my wonderful, beautiful twin soul soulmate, love fire soulmate, whatever, even if that person walks into my life, I'm going to concentrate on me. And if they're the right one, they'll come back in 6 months. So if you did that tomorrow, that would change your story from where it is right now. It would alter it. Now, tarot and some forms of divination for me are basically, it's like us giving you that information and you then going, now I need to make a change. It's a bit like I'm obviously very overweight, right? And I have what's it called? Thingy 2 diabetes. Okay. Not stage 2, but you know what it's called. Type 2 diabetes. Now, through losing some weight and controlling my sugar, I've managed to reverse that. The only way I know that I've managed to reverse that is by getting blood tests. If I'd carried on the way I was going with the reduced blood sugar and everything else, then it would have been even better. But because as soon as I knew that was something that was happening, I was able to take action, if that makes sense. I know I'm confusing my timeline. And it's a bit like that. The Akashic Records linking in with Wispy as my guide, my go-to, my connection. Wispy then drops that knowledge into like part of my brain that deals with memories. Okay, and talking to psychics and talking to mediums, that seems to be where theirs gets dropped as well. So it's literally that feeling of good evening, Peter Wu. Bear with me, I've got a question in for the next one. It's literally the idea of a memory comes into my head that isn't a memory that I've experienced, and that is how I pass that knowledge on. It's what comes through the cards. It also then the meaning of the cards. I believe that as I'm shuffling, Wispy or other agents or whatever you call it, Wispy is somehow manipulating the way I shuffle so that the right cards come out on top. And Wispy is the name that I give that dragon, that elemental entity that I work with. Okay, so I hope that helps. There's a lot more details in the podcast episode, which is linked just down below. Goes into a lot more details about how the fact that Wispy wasn't my first dragon. There were other dragons and lots of other things. So yeah, that is what I would recommend. I have seen it and read it. Yes, it's a very good film and a very good book. It's the only, well, that and Doodah, the first one, are the only Stephen King stuff I actually like reading. So yeah. Right then, let's go ahead, and we've got Queen 707. I've got two of yours up here. Right then, my darling, Queen 707. So we are going back to the other camera. Let's get Wispy on. Wispy, Wispy, Wispy. I know we were just talking about you, my friend. So Wispy, there we go. Right, cleanse the space of all the energy that we work with. And Wispy, for some reason, I'm drawn to this deck. I don't know why. My hand literally was about to, my left hand was about to go there. So that's interesting. So then, Queen 707. Wispy, Queen 70. No, thank you. Queen 707. See, Wispy's all excited now because we've just had a whole conversation about him. Wispy, Queen 707 says, once I move abroad, will I get to live separately away from my sister MS? Well, listen, Queen 707, right? I guess the question is she moving abroad with you? Because if you're staying where you are and she's moving abroad, then the answer is yes, because you won't be in the same country. Do you know what I mean? So it's possible, but we'll see what the cards say. Right then, Wispy. Once Queen 707 moves abroad, will her sister MS live separately from Queen 707? Are they going to live apart? Is that enough shuffling for you? It seems to be, right? Okay, so we'll do your drop. Oh, okay. A double slide. We like a double slide. And here we go. So then we've got the where you are. Interesting. 6 of Cups. What you need to know. Oh, the 5 of Swords and the opportunity. Oh, Page of Cups. Right. Okay. So there's nothing here concrete about that, to be fair, but I'll tell you what I see with the cards. Okay. It feels like this is going to be more about the conversation or the confrontation with your sister about living together. So we've got where you are, and we've got the 6 of Cups. Now, the 6s for me represent community. So this feels very much like the current situation where the two of you are somehow living together. We've got the cups here depicted as almost flower pots or like, you know, that. This is the Radiant Rider-Waite Smith deck, by the way. It's just the same Rider-Waite, the classic Rider-Waite deck, just with the colors up to 11. And this is the one that I've been using on my card of the day videos. Look at that reflection there. That looks pretty, doesn't it? Look at that. Anyway, easily distracted. Oh, look, a shiny thing. So yeah, this feels very much like that community aspect where you are at the moment. And it feels like, you know, whether you are bonded together in sort of where you are now or whatever it is, it feels like that element is here. It's kind of got all of that emotional element, that family element, all of that going on with the 6, right? So I would say this absolutely depicts where you are. You can see these young people are here. Now, this could be, the relationship between the two of you. I kind of disregard the people in most of these, in most of the pip cards sometimes, because this isn't about kids giving each other flowers and all of that. This feels more about the building in the background, the wider community. It almost feels like they all live in this. Is it a school? Is it a house? Is it a nunnery? Like, what is it that they all live in? Do you know what I mean? That's giving me that community aspect. Now, in the what you need to know, I think this is talking about the conversation, because we've got the 5 of Swords. So 5s are turmoil, tumultuousness, tough choices, tough questions, all of that sort of thing. Not so much tough questions, but turmoil, like a bit of argument. And the Swords is absolutely argument. It's the trouble and strife, it's the hurdles, objections, the obstacles, it's all of those things, right? All of those disagreements. And for me, you can see with the 5, it's normally a disagreement over almost over fundamentals. It's like you've got this person here who's picked up I know, right? I just said we disregard people. Sometimes this person here has picked up the cloak of their enemy on the battlefield. This person is mourning the soldiers on the battlefield, and this person's coming along and picking up the swords of the dead, basically, and they are hoping to get away into the night with the swords. And it's after that period of turmoil, and this is reversed. So I think this is something which it almost feels like the conversation you're going to have with your sister. It's like however you say it, right? You could say, listen, I don't know what the M stands for. We'll say Michelle or Melanie. We'll say Michelle, right? You could go, I love you, Michelle. You know I love you and I always have done, and I love being your sister and I love living with you. But actually, I'm 37 years old now. I'm 97 years old now. I'm 104 years old now, and I kind of want to live by myself. And then the conversation from Michelle would be, oh, well, that means you don't love me anymore. You don't want to live with me anymore. Well, it must be something I've done. What have I done? I didn't, like, I can change. I can do this. I can do that. And it's like, whatever you say, you're going to have this disagreement. You're going to have this kind of, not battle, but this little bit of a war. It's worse than a battle, Lisa. I know, right? But you're going to have this kind of element where the two of you are at loggerheads over a simple conversation. And that simple conversation is, I just want to live by myself for a bit. It may be that I don't like it. It may be that after living alone for 3 months, I'm begging you to move in, but I want to experience that. And it feels like that conversation is going to have some fallout, because in the opportunity position, so this is things to come, opportunities coming your way, what doors are opening. We've got the Page of Cups, but it's reversed, and the Page of Cups is all about a youthful, childish kind of moment to do with a loved one. So this feels very much like somebody's nose is pushed out of place and then they throw their toys out of the pram. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of, like, I don't know whether you get those sayings from other countries, but it's like they get upset that you're asking this question, and then it kind of leads to, I don't think it leads to like never speaking. It doesn't feel like that, but it feels like, especially if MS Michelle is younger than you, it feels like there's going to be almost like a temper tantrum, and that will kind of keep going. It doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do, okay? But I think this is more about having that conversation. I think it needs to happen. The fact that we've got the conversation here, not will you live separately, I think this conversation needs to happen for your sake. I don't know how long you've lived together. I don't know whether it's been since childhood. I don't know how old you are or how old MS is, but it really does feel like for you, you need to get out of this community situation. This isn't a boarding school. This isn't a hospital. This is a home, and you don't want to live with lots of other people in your home, and you've got the right to do that. But yeah, beware of this when the conversation happens. A bit of fallout, cross words, absolutely, like me, and you don't want this. Right? Expect all of that sibling kind of spat, and then expect them to be a bit pissed off. Wispy, I'm going to pull one card from the Poppy Palin deck, and what I want to know, Wispy, is after this conversation and this ness, is Queen 707 going to be living on, if not alone, are they going to live separately from the sister? Let's have a look. Okay, we want one card only. There we go. So it's going to be whatever this top card is, and we have one card, Lisa. We have the Empress. Now that's not entirely clear, because the Empress is all about family and abundance and all of that. Oh, it depends, Queen 707. If you're going to live with other family, maybe with your partner or something like that, then this looks like your sister won't be living with you. Okay. If, however, you haven't got people to live with, then it may well be that you end up living with your sister in this family unit, this matriarchal unit. You might have to take on that role. I don't know whether you've been doing that already, but it almost feels like you are either going to be the Empress of your, I know this isn't really giving you an answer, is it? Unfortunately, but you're either going to be the Empress of your own family unit. So like your partner, your children, your pets, your everything, or you're going to need to step up into that matriarchal unit to support your sister in some way. And I don't know how that's going to go, because I don't know the situation, but let me do one more. Wispy, I need a definitive. What are we doing? Is this with the sister or without? Oh, that doesn't help. Wispy, what are you saying? The Emperor is in charge. Are you saying, hang on, I need to do one more. Right. Strength. I think there's something else going on here, Queen 707, other than it just being two sisters that live together. I've got a feeling there is a need. One of you needs the support of the other some way. Because we've got strength reversed as well, which means that strength is still needed. That one of you might not do your best. You might not have you might not be living your best life on your own. Does that make sense? Because we've got the Emperor and the Empress here, which is telling me that it's something that is needed. This idea of living together is needed in some way. And then the strength being reversed is saying that somebody is in need of that support. So there's a supportive relationship going on. It doesn't mean that it has to be all one-sided. And it can be, as we saw up here, that just having the discussion about maybe living together in a different way, maybe it being whoever needs their independence can get some of that independence without being totally separate. Does that make sense? Because that's kind of how it's feeling. It's feeling like almost like one of you needs that safety net of support from the Emperor and Empress, because there is some issue there around the strength to live alone. I don't know exactly what the situation is, but I really hope that helps. It feels like that conversation needs to be had, maybe not about living alone or separately, maybe about saying, right, if we move abroad, we'll get a place that's got, I don't know, a house with a large basement that's done out as almost like a separate granny flat, and then one of you moves into the granny flat, has access to all your own life, but also in case of an emergency or in case of a problem has access to, you know, that family support. Especially with this matriarchal Empress energy coming up first, it really does feel like that level of support is still needed for some reason. So yeah, I hope that helps. I really do. It feels like this was feeling one way, and this feels like once we got deeper into it, it feels like there's more than, this isn't a simple question of you and your sister falling out and you don't want to live with each other anymore. It feels like there's an independence issue, and that is going to be the key thing. Anyway, my darling, I really do hope that helps. I'm going to pop back onto the other camera and go into, oh, sorry, I keep forgetting I need to do that, and then go into the live chat. Right, let me have a look. Oh, hang on. She would definitely respond that way. She's manipulative. Okay. Just scrolling through all the comments. I love our comment section. I do actually go on and read some of them when after the live stream. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe a bit of codependency. Absolutely. I think there's something there like that. You really don't want to live with her because of her toxicity, and mainly because of her abusive and alcoholic husband. I think there may be an element then that, like, is there a reason? It could be her husband. It really could be. But then the question is, if it's that difficult right now, my darling, why are you living there right now? If it's a purely financial thing, then when you move abroad, are you moving with them? Like what's going on in that situation? Because it does feel like, yeah, you shouldn't be in that situation, but also it does feel like there is a little bit of a need there. Your mum wants you to live with her. Okay, so then it would have to be like the granny flat situation, where her and her husband have a different main dwelling space that's connected to the house. Like they could have the attic space, or you and your mum have the attic space, so you've got a completely independent, front door, back door, like way of getting in, but there's still that support there if your sister needs it. Something like that, I think, is would be the way forward, where you're kind of meeting in the middle, where you've got your own space and you've got your own independence, but you've also got that family connection there. I think that's kind of important. Nanette, you're asking about the Akashic records. Have a look online, Google it, because it's a massive theory. If you can imagine a library the size of the universe, with every living being's life story in it, from the smallest fly to the largest dinosaur that ever lived, to the most complicated human, and every alien species, if you like, as well, and you put all of that information into a giant library that was an unending library, filled with bookshelves, filled with books, filled with records, then at that point that's kind of almost big enough for the Akashic records. It would be an infinitely large library, and it would have information in it of people that haven't been born and won't be born for several 100,000 years, and it would have information in there people that were the first humans on Earth. All life would be connected with this Akashic record, but it fades in and out of the astral plane, if you like, depending on what it is you're accessing. So it's almost like a computer database that will access specific areas. This is my understanding of it. So accesses specific areas that you want to access at that point. So if you wanted to call on the spirit of William Shakespeare, that might be really difficult, because that plane of existence is so far back now, and you would argue Shakespeare's essence, soul, whatever, has been reincarnated so many times since, or bits of it have, that it's gone, if you get that. So yeah, have a little look. So yeah, anyway, I hope that helps, my darling. Your mum is planning for you already to move abroad, but she thinks the only way is to stay at their house. If you've got elements of Queen 77, if you've got an element where you can stay at the house but have your independence, that's possible. But I do think it would be better to have your independence. Maybe make arrangements that you're only going to be there for a year. It's easy to say. But yeah, I mean, if your mum's planning it, if you're not old enough to move out on your own at the moment, or you're not financially able to, then it may mean going and living with the emperor and the empress. And in that strength would be talking about, you just need to find the strength to get through that period of time before you're able to move on and live on your own. But anyway, I hope that helps. Ed, I didn't realize that. Neil, we need to do a whole podcast episode on Akashic Records. We really do. Good evening, Belinda Jane Harris. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hello, my darling. W. Yes, W for the win. I don't know what that means, but yay. Would it contain alternative timelines for us? It would contain every timeline that has ever happened and rough sketches for the first little. So imagine in Loki with the TVA and the branches, imagine that our individual timeline is the main branch, and then every chance that we could have had would have like a little sub branch coming off, but we never lived that life because we've always lived this one. So every decision we've ever made is the right decision we've made, even if we regret it. Long term, we understand that we're in the right best place and the right place for us right now. Okay, so quick example. I know I'm waffling on about this rather than anything else, but I do think we need to cover this in a podcast now. A quick example, when I was 16, I met my first ever boyfriend. We were together for a few years. There was a whole thing that went on with that. It turned out that he was actually really, really toxic. I got out of that situation. I changed my path, my timeline. I shifted it. Now, at the time, it felt like I had a fork. I could stay in the town I was living in, or I could move. To me, that felt like a fork. In my actual timeline, it was a straight time and a little mini bit coming off my timeline. So if you imagine my own timeline kind of goes up here, this bit here where I thought I had a left choice or a right-hand choice, and I chose the left side, for example, I chose this. When you look at it from a distance, it's just a straight road. It's a straight timeline. All of those other choices that I could have gone off on are just little diverts that never happened. It's like when you're driving on the motorway and there's a little A road connection or a little B road connection that don't really go anywhere. Or one of those roads that kind of leads to the local farm. That's it, because it's the farmer's land. It's like that. We carry on down our motorway. All the decisions that are made, our timeline, when we look at it from our whole total life, is basically one straight line. And every choice that we could have made is there, but doesn't have its own full timeline. So I don't believe there's an alternative me that never transitioned. I don't believe there's an alternative me that stayed in my hometown. I don't believe any of that, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of, we're on our timeline. It's just we're given opportunities to change it as we go through. Anyway, have a little look into Akashic Records. That's my understanding of it and how I make peace with the fact that I'm a skeptical son of a bitch, or just skeptical bitch, and I am entirely disbelieving of a lot of the ways that other people explain how tarot works for them. For me, it's just accessing that giant computer database somewhere in the infinite plane, which has all of our information on, and some of us can tap into it. All of that being said, let's go ahead and have another round of tarot, shall we? What we're here for, rather than hearing me waffling on, trying to make sense of thoughts that go through my head and things that I've kind of discovered and thought about without going into full-on details. So if you would like gosh, I did not think I would be explaining Akashic Records and timelines. But anyway, if you would like a tarot reading, please do one of two things. The first, to guarantee you're up next, is send it to me, don't put it into me. Send it to me as a super chat. That will guarantee you're up next. If you can't or won't do that, or just don't fancy doing that for whatever reason, that's perfectly fine. Put your comment into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will pick one of those at random. If we get multiple super chats in, I will do all of those first, and then open up another free reading at the end. Don't forget, as normally, people that have free readings are 3-card readings, and if you get a super chat, it's either going to be a 6 or 7-card reading depending on your question. So if you want a bit more detail, do it as a super chat. If you want it, just put your hat in the ring to get a free reading. You need to just do that by putting your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and go ahead and do those things now.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the Witcher community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. Oh God, I need to make that longer. Hiya. As regular viewers and subscribers will know, when you get a back-to-back video and then the small business shout out coming up, when you get that back to back with the banner going at the bottom, you know full well that I've nipped for a wee. So that's I need to make it about 10 seconds longer because it's a bit of a rush. But anyway, yeah, that's a thing. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, kind of. Nanette, I've seen that description put forward many times, to be honest with you. That it's all universes, all like the entire multiverse, everything that ever could be is in there somewhere. I don't try and access the multiple planes of the Akashic records. So again, if you think about it, for me, the library is just on one level, right? That's all I can access. That's all I want to access is one floor, because I don't want access to all of the other universes and all of the other forms of life, right? I just need access to the one floor, human existence on planet Earth 616 or whatever it is, the same place that I am on and the history that I am on. That's what I need. Everything else I acknowledge is there. It's just my elevator pass only lets me access that one realm, that one floor for now. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I believe. But yeah, very similar. It depends. It depends on the tarot reader. I can see some questions in. Thank you very much. I will get to one of those in just a second. It depends on the tarot reader and it depends on the questions. So, for example, if you're asking like for what's to come this coming year, I've just said to you for your love reading, that goes up to about April, at the end of April. And that at the moment, that's what we can see. Because any further into it than that, becomes murky because you make your own choices. So for example, the cards for you, Flower Beauty, were suggesting that you grow your confidence first and then, you know, don't look into anything else and then start looking towards your future path in a couple of months' time. If you ignore all of that, then you're adjusting your timeline. But at the moment, that's what we can see. So that's the advice. If you choose to ignore that, then you'll need to, you know, that will still be the same advice. It's just that if you ask again in a month's time, you'll get a very similar reading. Look, you need to concentrate on you before you can concentrate on others. Do you know what I mean? So it might not be the exact same phrasing and the exact same cards, but it will be, generally speaking, the same reading. So we normally say at least a month to 6 weeks before asking the same sort of questions, because that allows, sorry, I just realized I've got my glasses on, because that allows situations to change, things to develop, and for situations to flow. Because if you like, the way that the tarot works is it's seeing a flow, and it's kind of like, you know, if you're stood on a bridge and you play poo sticks, you chuck a stick one side, you wait for it to come under, you don't chuck the next one in yet. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got to wait for everything to pass and situations to change. Hopefully that makes some sense. Right then, we've got Belinda. Oh, now I've taken my glasses off. I can't bloody see. What I need is those little half moon, you know, like teacher glasses. That's what I need. Or to put them, there we go. That's what I need, to put them just like that. Glasses like that, my headscarf and my grey hair, I am starting to look like my grandmother, which isn't a bad thing. My grandmother was quite beautiful, especially in her older years, she was. So we've got Belinda Jane Harris, Nanette, and Peter, and I believe that's the questions for this round. So, okay, yes, it is. So then let me just have a look, and here we go. So I'm going to scroll up and down. Oh, hang on. There we go. Scroll up and down. Scroll up and down. I'm looking at you. I can't say. Oh, I clicked on nothing. That makes sense. Right. Let me try that again. So it's these three here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one. Belinda Jane Harris. Question. See, now I'm looking like me nan as well. I can't see. Question. What does the future hold for me? These are bifocal. So the bottom bit is what I need to read and the top bit is what I need to see out. So when I'm trying to look through the top bit, I still can't bloody read. So that's not going to help, is it really? Belinda, let's have a look. So swapping the camera around. I know, right? Either way, I'm still blind and need me old lady gogs. What I need is one of those non-reflective things. I don't know why I was going to pick this one up. So we're going to pick this one up then today. For some reason, I look very purple on this camera, but not on the other one. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's the same. It's the same me in the same settings. So Nanette and Peter Wu, select and copy your questions and get ready. Oh gosh, hang on a second. Hang on a second. I didn't do the doodah. I need to do the doodah. Where's the doodah? Where's the thing? There it is. I need to highlight your question so it's on the other screen. There we go. So then. Wispy, good evening once again. We've got Belinda Jane Harris. Question, what does the future hold for Belinda? That's what we want to know. What does the future hold for Belinda Jane Harris? So let's have a look in the, I tell you what, Belinda, we'll do the very, very standard. We'll do present. So the energy around you now, the energy that's to come in March, and we'll have a look at the energy in April. Okay, so bear in mind, March will be clearest. April can be fuzzy because the further away we get from the now, the more interference comes in, if that makes sense. It's a bit like a radio station. If you're tuned to an old radio station and you're really near the transmitter, you've got a really clear signal. If you're 50 miles away, you might still get a reasonably good signal. 500 miles away, I doubt you can pick it up. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we look at when we look at the future and the ripples. So yeah, just bear that in mind, but we will have a look for you. So the energy around you right now, which is leading to the future, that is what is coming off of right now. And then we've got the energy for March and the energy for April. I can't believe March is here already. Like, it's weird. I've got loads of editing to do. I've got the podcast to edit for Wednesday. So yeah, I've got a whole podcast to edit for tomorrow evening. So there we go. Right then, the energy around you at the moment, the three, oh God, Belinda, it's the Three of Hearts. It's the Three of Swords, I should say. It's the Heartbreak card. So yeah, there's a lot of emotion around you at the moment. We've got the Six of Coins coming up in the main theme, if you like, of March. And then the theme for April is the Nine of Cups. So actually, perhaps a bit of a better April. Right, let me put the white light on. So then, what is the Three of Blades? In other decks, this would be called the Three of Swords, and it's universally known as the Heartbreak card because you can normally see some sort of depiction of a heart that's been stabbed. The Fifth Spirit deck shows it as a recovering from heartbreak card because you can see where it's been stitched back together. In a lot of decks, it's seen as a painting on a sword, on a not a sword, what's it called? On a shield that's got the swords in, so you can see it's still protected. In this version, we've got it as a pin cushion, and you can see this person is cutting up things and making something. You can also see here on the desk there is a love heart design that's been etched into the desk, or maybe it's fabric, or maybe it's like thread, but you can see it's split down, so we've got that heartbreak element. And you can see this photo of the woman and her partner, we would assume, in the past, with her now crying and mopping her eyes up. You can see the cat looking out the window at the magpie and the little nymph energy sprite. So this really is talking about heartbreak and loss and grief and all of those really tough emotions to go through. And I think this is still where you are right now. And I think there's, it's fine to be going through grief. I always think that when a relationship breaks up, when somebody passes, whenever we get that heartbreak moment, the more intense we feel it is because we felt the opposite for that person when they were here. Do you know what I mean? Or when you're in a relationship with them. So if you say, for example, if you've been together with someone for 6 years, right, and you love and love and love and love and love that person, and then they decide that actually, oh, this new secretary at work, like, oh, he's really attractive, he's got all of the bits that I like, and he's so handsome, and he's got the company car, and he's just scrummy, I'm going to go off and date him for a bit. And you leave the relationship of 6 years and go off with the secretary guy. That's fantastic for you, but the partner that you're leaving is going to feel, potentially going to feel absolutely devastated. And the more they love you, I just realized I've done this in the wrong way around, but you know what I mean? The more that you love someone, the more it hurts when they either end the relationship, or when they pass over, or when they just move on with their life and you're no longer in it. That for me, the depth of negative energy and sad emotion that we feel when something ends is directly linked to the way that we felt when we were at our happiest with that person. Does that make sense? So the fact that you're going through this right now, it is heartbreaking and it is sad and it is something that needs acknowledging. But also, you need to realize that if you weren't feeling this way, the only reason you're feeling this way is because you cared for that person in some way before, whether that person has, as I say, left the relationship, whether you left the relationship, whether they've passed on, whatever connection it is, however that's been severed, that's why you feel that way. In March, the main theme, we've got the 6 of Coins. Now, this is really interesting because this is about helping others. Now it's reversed, so it's actually about being helped, right? You could see it as charity. I don't see charity as being a negative thing, and it's like people that are offering to help you. So it feels next month, whether this is directly linked in with this emotional kind of impact, it feels like next month you're going to be offered support and help and charity, but that charity doesn't have to come from a do-gooder place. It could be friends and family wanting to support you. Now, I don't think you're going to feel particularly comfortable with accepting help and accepting support, but sometimes we have to. Sometimes we have to accept that we need that support to be able to move forward. We need that help. And the hardest thing in life is to ask for help. Do you know what I mean? That is the hardest thing. As the quote just came through from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, thank you, Wispy, that was amusing. The hardest thing in this world is to live in it, which I honestly believe is true, because there's a lot of emotions that go on, and sometimes we need to ask for help, and a lot of us aren't comfortable doing that. But then when we get to April, we get this. So we're saying, look, February, the next around you right now, probably for the next couple of weeks or so, we've got this kind of heartbreak energy. Maybe the next week it starts to lift as you realize that you need some help, and you either ask for that help or accept the help that's offered. You kind of start to come out of it. Now, again, although this is coins, it's also growth, and it's that element. It's this like emotional growth. It could be financial support you need, but whatever it is, if it's offered, accept it. If it isn't offered, ask for it, right? Because when we get to April, we've got the 9 of Cups, and this is a super positive card, a really, really, really positive card. So this is positive emotions coming back into play. This is feeling happier. This is feeling more loved, more connected. This is having, you know, community around you, family around you, those sort of things. Again, you can see we've got this ship on the horizon. It's talking about, I don't know if you can see it there. Anywhere we see water, it's talking about emotions, because that's a standard. But you can see this ship here, for me, it's looking at a journey, a future journey, plans for the future. And I think it's really important that this seems to come if you accept this help or ask for help. It seems that will lift this situation. Does that make sense, Belinda? It really does feel like there's a story here where the grief and the emotional upset, the loss, the sadness that you're feeling now kind of comes into play. I don't know why I keep saying grief. It's heartbreak. Sorry, the heartbreak. It doesn't mean somebody's passed. It just means the ending of that relationship. But the heartbreak that was here kind of helps to get lifted by the people around you, asking for support, asking on the practical things, as well as the financial things, as well as the emotional things. And then that starts leading towards happiness. Okay. I hope that helps, my darling. It feels very positive in the outcome. It's just like there's a bit of time before things start getting better. It's like, you know, what's it called? That thing that does that. It goes tick tock, pendulum. It's like the pendulum at the moment is on a downswing, but it's getting to the zenith of the downswing here. And if you start asking for support, it will start moving upwards before we get into like a really good moment to come. Does that make sense? Hopefully, my darling, that makes sense. Thank you ever so much for your question. It's good of you to pop in. We haven't seen you on the lives for a while, so thank you ever so much for joining. Oh, bloody hell, blinding you all. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope that helps. I really do hope that helps. Right then, let me have a look. Yep, absolutely. Yep, all readings are the same. Flower Beauty. Oh, Amy, it's I don't know whether you saw my video. It's very good. And I've realized I shouldn't be putting things from the witch casket in my backdrop or on the cloth or anything like that. I shouldn't be doing that for a few weeks, like literally about 2 to 3 weeks after the video goes out, because my American and worldwide viewers and subscribers might not want to get that hint, so they might put that video in the playlist. I don't want to give it away, the stuff that's come in, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. You're in Montana. You also get Witchbox. I keep looking at that, but I'm really loving Witch Casket. Seeds of vegetables, fruit and vegetable plants, a TV and card stands. Oh, that's what you're buying. Fabulous. Yeah, absolutely. Gardening is lovely. Yeah, this is it. That emotion is still there. That's why I was saying grief. That's why I kept saying grief. We just to say, we always ignore your spelling, Patricia. We know. Yeah, it does feel like there's still some help you need, or still some support you need somewhere, and that help, you need to ask for it, or you need to accept it if it's offered, and then things are absolutely going to start getting better. Happy birthday for the 1st. Is that Friday the 1st of March? Happy birthday for the 1st of March. Is it the Ides of March? Isn't that the thing? I don't know what it means, but it's the Ides of March. Is that a Caesar thing? Julius Caesar thing? I don't know. The Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March. I don't know what that means. I don't know what Ides are. When I was younger, I thought it said beware the eyes, as in the things that, beware the eyes of March. And I was always like, wow, who's looking at me? Who's staring at me during March? In fact, I bet Holland knows what it means. Holland, you've got the theatrical background, being all like theatre and everything. Holland's very theatrical, not in real life, but in terms of career and job and things. So, Holland, what is the Ides of March? I'm sure it's a thing. Just can't remember because I'm not very cultured. You see, well, I was very cultured, but now I don't remember it. You don't know that one? Oh, hang on, computer, volume to 10. Computer, what are the Ides of March?
The Ides of March is the 74th day in the Roman calendar, corresponding to the 15th of March. It was marked by several religious observances and was a deadline for settling debts in Rome.
Oh, God, I can't settle my debts before the 15th of March. Are you having a laugh? No, there's no payment plan that would work. There you go. Yes, apparently the Ides of March is the 15th of March, when the debts were due in the Roman thing. So beware the Ides of March will be, beware the day that all your debts are due. So yes, Caesar was killed at some point, whether it was the 6th or the 21st. There's disagreement within the mods. But yeah, you are a mad March hare. Absolutely. Yes, it is the March hare, isn't it? In fact, I haven't got me witchy diaries are in the other room, so I haven't got that because normally they tell me like things like that. It is associated with misfortune and doom. Hang on, are we streaming on that day? Let me just have a look on the calendar. The 15th is a Friday, so we won't be streaming on the Ides of March, unfortunately. Thank God for that. I mean, I've got plenty of evil eye stuff on here, and I'm working with stuff. You learn something every day, but yeah, the Ides of March is debt repayment day. Good luck for that in this thing. Oh, here we are. Look, here is Renata coming in with the actual answer. God, I just love all the contributors, subscribers, and mods on this channel. It's so good. I love the people I know. The Ides are a date. There we go. The date. Oh, hang on. I need to put my gogs back on because I can't read it. The date is based on a set of goddesses. The Idace. Also, in Germanic regions, we honor the Disir, important goddesses. The main celebration was this last full moon. That's really interesting. There you are. That's really interesting. We do literally learn stuff every day. Absolutely. Beware the Ides of March. Anyway, we got to that. We got to all of that, Belinda, because it's your birthday in March. A happy birthday in March. Thankfully, you're not born on Debt Recovery Day. Otherwise, your mum and dad might have just given you to the debt collectors. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, we've had a loan out for $200. Here, have my daughter. Have my oldest born daughter here. You could have grown up living in a bank. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I do talk some shit sometimes. Oh God. Your mum and dad have a debt, so you go living in a bank. What the hell? Anyway, I don't want to see that movie. Oh God, like the Truman Show, but set in a bank. Oh God, could you imagine? Right, come on, Braid. Let's do another tarot reading. Oh. Belinda Bailiff Harris. No, what was it? Yeah, it was Harris. Belinda Bailiff or Bailiff Jane Harris. Yeah, that could have been. Oh dear God. Every day is a school day. It absolutely is. Oh my gosh. Do you know, somebody should really invent a machine where we can plug in my brain and then all the various ideas that I think that'll make a really good film one day. I can just go blah, 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 and then they can be given to, well, sold at a very decent but very good rate to Hollywood, and then there'll be lots of films. What? Hang on. Holland's coming back with other facts. Another source says Ides was originally a general term for a full moon, so long as it is the first in a given month. Maybe we need to actually go into Shakespeare's Julius Caesar and actually discover the text. I'm not going to ask the computer to do that right now because we will be here for another hour discussing the Ides of March and the potential etymology. Oh my God, etymology of the word and the phrase. But anyway, yes, this is it. Beware the Ides of March. Because do you know why? My brain just went, oh yeah, that's why. Because the Ides of March is when you have to pay your debts. And as he was being killed, oh, fuck's sake, I knew that. How did I know that? It's because, yes, it's because my brain just completely, etymology. What did I say? I said etymology. My brain just completely doubled back to being in school and learning a bit of like doing some Shakespeare stuff. And the Ides of March was Caesar saying, you're going to get your comeuppance. Karma will get you is basically what that phrase means, because the Ides of March is debt payment day. And on that day, fuck, how could I forget that? That's ridiculous. On that day, you get what's coming to you. You have to pay your debts. And so although Caesar's dead, someone else will come along and kill him. Yes, I don't know whether Brutus, I can't remember any more than that. We did all sorts. Romeo and Juliet, Midsummer Night's Dream, all sorts. Anyway, let's have another round. So then if you would like a tarot reading, go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. You can always send it as a super chat if you want to guarantee that you are up next. Okay, so guarantee it with a super chat. That also gives 10% of whatever you send goes to, once YouTube's taken its cut, 10% goes to Fight Bladder Cancer and 10% goes to Bladder Cancer UK. The rest goes to help run the channel. So if that's what you'd like to do, send that right now. You'll be the first cab or the next cab off the rank. If not, put it in for a free question. You'll get a 3-card question instead of a 6 or 7, and I will pick all of those from all of those at random. Okay, so either way, go ahead and do the do now. Not the do. My brain. Yes, good evening. No, I know it wasn't actually Julius Caesar that said it. It was in the play Julius Caesar. I think that's the right play. It must be the right play. By Bill Shakespeare. That's who said it. It was right. So Bill Shakespeare wrote the play Julius Caesar and ascribed it within that play. However, it was actually initially a soothsayer. Never quite understood what a soothsayer is. Fortune teller, a wise witchy woman who basically said that said to not to Shakespeare, Jesus, right, brain. Shakespeare Shakespeare wrote it, right? And in the play, Caesar goes to the soothsayer, the fortune-telling witchy person, and she gives him the warning, beware the Ides of March. So when he's actually killed and he goes, and you, Brutus, because everybody turns against him, and one by one he's like loses power in the Senate, and then Brutus stabs him, and then he's like, ugh. I think if I remember rightly that he says it back. I know he says et tu, Brutus, but I think he says it back. If not, the implication is that the Ides of March, when debt repayment happens, is when that happens. I think it's been a long time since I was at school and doing any kind of theatre. So yeah, thank you everyone. I know, right? We're off on a detour. We do go on detours. My brains are not braining. You're quite right. My brains very rarely brain. Right. It looks like we've got one question, and that is from Nanette. So then, my darling Nanette, everyone else is just here for me reminiscing badly and remembering badly about Shakespeare. I'm better with Romeo and Juliet. I am better with that. I know more about that play, especially after seeing the film with Leonardo in, right? And I can't remember who, Baz Luhrmann. There we go. After seeing Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, which I also really love, but I love the language of Shakespeare. I love the way it's. I just love it. I think it's really nice. I just, unfortunately, these days my brain is so boogered that I literally can't remember half, a third, a tenth of what I learned, unfortunately. But yeah. Anyway, we've got a reading in for the lovely Nanette. And so we're going to do that now for you, Nanette, my darling. So a general reading. And we'll do that for you now. We'll do that for you right now. I know, right? Don't even get me started on the Jabberwocky. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did Gaia and gimble in the wabe, all misty were the borogroves and moonwrath outgabe. I think I messed one of those words up, but yeah, there you are. See, I am actually a little bit cultured. I know, right? You wouldn't think it, would you? There we are. Wispy, like an element from above. Not a pigeon, but a dove. Coo, coo, coo. Oh, gosh. Oh, dear. I'm quoting Reeves and Mortimer now. In the same sentence as Shakespeare. Oh gosh, right, Wispy, come on, let's sort this out, Wispy. Serious, we're doing serious stuff here. Wispy, Nanette would like to know a general reading, please, for this coming month or so. That's what we want, is a lovely general reading for Nanette. Okay, so then let's see what we've got in store for Nanette with the Poppy Palin Enchanted Enlightenment this deck. Oh, my brain is hurting. I'm also cringing at how little Shakespeare I remember. What light through yonder window shines is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and cast out thy moon, who is sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid. Yes, I'm vaguely remembering Romeo's speech. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Shall I speak or hear more? Shall I hear more or speak at this? There we go. You had a very low drop then, or very high drop, whichever way you want to look at it, Nanette. I know, right? Maybe we should do tarot with Shakespeare. It would be a very quick stream for what I remember. So then, in the recent past, the recent past, we've got the King of Cups energy. In the present, we've got the Three of Coins reversed. And in the immediate future, we've got the Six of Wands. Let's have a look. The Loads of Money song. I don't know what that means, Ed. So then, in the past, the King of Cups. For me, the King of Cups is a person in authority, or a person like a boss, somebody in charge. And this is to do with money. Now, although this person here is depicted as a dad because they've got the I Heart Dad card, I often don't see it as familial connections. I often see it as just somebody generally in a position of authority, if that makes sense. So it's like, it feels whether this is you taking control. I think this is you taking control of your heart and your emotions. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Wispy, give me that again. I know that you weren't feeling particularly good recently, Nanette, but have you just changed? Hang on. Right. Wispy, thank you. I'm going to pull it. Thank you. Have you just changed a situation involving involving. I don't think it's involving your emotional state. So I don't know whether you've just got a counselor or whether you've just spoken to a doctor or whether you've just started something new, a new course or something, because the King of Cups is coming up. But I feel like it does feel like there's a male energy coming in to help with your emotions. I don't think this isn't a love reading. So let me just pull. Okay, Wispy, we want a clarifying. We'll do 2 clarifying cards. So, or maybe it is. Is there a romance coming in, Nanette? What? Oh, King of Swords. Right. Okay. It doesn't feel like romance. It feels like somebody that's coming in to help. So I don't know whether you've got a doctor, a new doctor or a counselor or something that's going to actually help deal with some emotional stuff. Because the King of Swords is dealing with the trouble and strife and the hurdles, but coming in with the 2 of Cups, it's like there's a partnership happening between you and the king who's going to unravel the hurdles and the obstacles. And so that, and there's some that, what that basically means is it leads to this figure, this king figure who's coming in to help emotionally. It doesn't feel like a romance, even though we've got the lovers. It feels like, I mean, it could be, but it feels more like this person's role is to help unpick some of the obstacles and hurdles, help you get over the hurdles, deal with the obstacles, and is going to be, it's like, for me, the thing that's standing out with this card is the caduceus. I know, right? Another big word there, Felisa. But it's the caduceus, which is the sign with a slightly different lion's head and wings, but it is the sign for the medical profession. The double snakes going around the sword with the wings, not necessarily with the lion's head, but it feels far more like somebody is coming in and helping in the recent, like really recent, like even in the last day or 2, but certainly I would say this connection's probably been made within the last couple of weeks, or like the first appointment, something you've been waiting for, and then the first like meeting or the first connection it's almost like you've been waiting for an appointment and that's now happening, or that's now happened, but it's been like a long time coming. And I can certainly appreciate that. The 3 of Coins coming up in the present is, for me, this is, again, it's really interesting because it's talking about, coins is about growth, and it's also about making plans for the longer term future. It's about bringing other people along with you for that journey. So you can see in this case, we've got the barge going through the lock, which is a particular, I don't think you have these in the States, but it's going along the river, and these go at like very slow speed, 5 miles an hour or something. They're very, very, very slow, pottering along boats, and people live on them. But this is going through the lock, but the people here helping, I don't feel are connected to this person. These are just, other river dwellers, other people on other boats, perhaps at the other end of the lock. And the thing with the lock is that it's like a kissing gate. Boats can only go in one at a time, because what happens is that you go in these doors, these bits close behind you, and then this fills with water, and it basically rises, lifts the boat. And if you could see the other side of this over here somewhere, the canal, or it would be the canal. The canal's water is up here somewhere. And basically what this does is it allows the boat to rise up and then go across. And the locks are there to allow that movement in a very particular way. And I think that this card is saying that. Now, the fact that it's reversed is, I question whether there's a part of you that wants this initial help coming in, because it does feel like it's needed, but it also feels like part of you is perhaps being a little bit resistant to that support, that growth coming in. Maybe it's something that you're not quite ready for yet, that sort of that focus on yourself, that focus on the future, and maybe dealing with some of those issues. It's really interesting though, because the 3 of Coins itself would generally be about work, money, but all today, it's been representing growth. Again, I don't think this is about money. I don't think it is. And I certainly don't think it's about work. It feels much more, again, like the key thing I'm getting from this is similar to this, in that there is some help here. And it basically, so if you didn't have other people with you and you were on this boat, right, what you would have to do is jump out of the boat, open the locks, then climb down. There's normally a ladder. Climb down the ladder, jump back on the boat, allow the boat to go into the lock, stop, jump out of the boat, back on the ladder, because the boat would then be here, climb out, close these locks, which allows to then open these locks, which allows the water to flow into this little cubby hole thing, and that would rise it up. But this person has help. He's got this person here, these two here, and so it's about needing the help, even if you don't want to acknowledge it. You could certainly do things on your own, but it's a lot less difficult. It's a lot simpler if you've got people around you that can help. And I think that's what this is trying to tell you. So in the future, we've also then got the 6 of Wands. Now, this is also reversed. So again, this community aspect that I'm seeing here with the 3 of Coins coming up, this is saying that the 6 of Wands, you're not going to feel like you want community support. So like for me, if I was to only speak of my own life, and in no way should anybody think this is anything to do with the net, but in my personal experience, there are times in the past where my mental health has been pretty crap, right? Which would be similar to this. And then I've needed help, but not felt comfortable reaching out, not felt comfortable bringing other people in. And then when it's been offered to do things like group CBT and group therapy, I've gone, you know what? No, thank you. Not for me. I'm off. And even though by doing that, I've bit my nose off to spite my face. Do you know what I mean? And so it feels like there's something along those lines. And I'm not saying it's group therapy. I'm not saying it's any kind of therapy, but it does really feel that whatever you've been going through, you need a bit of assistance to get you through it, and to continue that growth that you've been on, and that any community, like people looking at you, people talking about you, people kind of being in your circle at the moment, it's a hurdle too much. Do you know what I mean? But it does also feel, because this is overall a positive card, it feels like your confidence is on an upswing. It is happening. You can finish this race. And if you look, ultimately, although you've got people around you that you perhaps might not want to be there, you're the only one running this race. There's nobody else on the field. There's nobody else jumping these hurdles. You are the one who has to do this alone, even if you've got people around you. So it's actually saying, look, you might want people around, you might not want people around you, but you kind of have to accept that they're there, in which case carry on anyway, kind of ignore the crowd. You do what you need to do to get yourself to finish that line first. And I hope, my darling, I hope that helps. I really do. I really hope that helps. I hope it makes sense. And yeah, I hope you can take it. Whatever's going on, Nanette, absolutely best of luck, my darling, with that. It does feel like there's a lot at the moment, but also it does feel very much like the next couple of months are going to be, again, right? Listen, Wispy, thank you. What I just got, as I was about to say, and then I smiled, and then I didn't say it. What I was about to say is, it feels like this next couple of months, you will be getting the help you need, not necessarily the help you want. Like the guidance you need, not necessarily the answers you want. Does that make sense? That's what it feels like. It feels like you're actually, in a couple of months' time, or 3 months' time, whatever it is, you'll look back and go, oh yeah, actually, I needed all of that. Whereas at the time, you're like, nope, I don't need help. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense, Nanette. I really hope it does. But yeah, Wispy, right at the very last moment, made me smile then with that. You'll get the help you need, not necessarily the help you want. Jesus, stop blinding people. Anyway, let me have a look in the doodah thing. Hang on. The Moulin Rouge, yes, he did. Yes, he did. So excuse me. I'll be better off with Goethe's plays on Faust. Nah, I don't do plays anymore, my darling. As I say, dredging up the memory of Shakespeare was hard enough for my poor brain. If we did a Shakespearean tarot, I know, right? Sometimes it feels like some of the old decks are very much Shakespearean tarot. You've made your mind up that you're tired of feeling the way you do, and you're changing it. No more wallowing, no more self-doubting, and no more feelings of being down. Well done. Then get some help. Get some help. Listen, you're not going to like it, but get some help. That's really good. That is really, really, really good. So yeah. You have a friend and you've been friends for a while, but you really never went to them for anything, but here lately you've been going to them with your problems and they've been helping you to deal with them. Oh my darling, that sounds amazing. That sounds absolutely amazing. You didn't not like being able to do anything without needing help. I know, but sometimes we need to. You know what I'm saying, Holland. Everybody knows what I'm saying. I bit my own nose off. I did. You know that, and you're determined to get whatever you need to. Hang on, to what? I know that. Even with my gogs on, I can't bloody read, can I? I know that, and I'm determined that whatever I need to do, I will do to get it done, even if it means I need to have help from others. Absolutely. Thank you, Patricia. Absolutely, my darling. But look, just it feels like you're whatever you're doing, whatever's changed recently, it feels like you're on the right path. So yeah, you keep doing that, my darling. Anyway, we're going to try for one more question, everybody. One more question. So go ahead, pop it into the live chat if you haven't done already, and send it as a what's it called, a super chat if you haven't done already. You can do that. That'll guarantee you the last reading. It's the only way to guarantee tonight's final reading is to send it as a super chat, or you can take the risk, put it into the live chat starting with the word question, and I will pick one of those at random. So do go ahead, do either of the things, but do it now, do it quick, because we haven't got long left on tonight's live stream, about 12 minutes. So if you want a reading, the only way to guarantee you get it is by sending a super chat or pop it into live chat starting with the word question. Do it all now. Okay, let me just have a quick look. Hang on, comments. There we go. Oh, hang on. I'm on the starred comments. There we go. So it looks like we've got 2 questions in for the last one. Unfortunately, there isn't time to do both of them. Otherwise, I would. So it's time once again to toss the talisman. Do 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 do. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-da-bum. Toss the talisman. Here's our Lisa with a quick recap. So then, what we're going to do, everybody, I need to put that on a jingle, don't I? What we're going to do, and you know I'm absolutely going to do that this week. Mr. Lynn, you are going to be on my first whistle. You are going to be the water symbol this time. And Tonya Fallon, you are going to be the writing. You are going to be this time. Okay, so as we spin it, we always start with the symbol face up, and we spin it and it falls where it may. So then, ooh, it's the water symbol. So Mr. Lynn, a quick general reading for you, my darling. There we go. Tonya Fallon, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ding your bell. Change your settings to all. That way I will be able to see it No, that way you'll be able to see it when we go live on Sunday. But 7 p.m. UK time is when we are normally live. And we go live on, yes, we do. We go live on Sundays and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. UK time. We go live at 6 p.m. for our members only chat on every Sunday as well. So do make sure, if you want to be part of that, you can do so by joining the details at the bottom of the screen and joining the people at the bottom of the screen. Right then, let's have a look. So then, Wispy, let's clear your space first of all. I don't know why it felt like we needed a double cleanse then. Too much Shakespearean coming in, you know what I mean? We're not talking about the Scottish play either. No, definitely not. In fact, I think if you look back far enough on this channel, you can see me doing a dramatic reading of that there Scottish plays moment where we have the witches and the cauldron. Wispy, I think that's still up. I'll have to have a look, see if that's still up. Wispy, Mr. Lynn 67 would like to have a quick general reading. So a general reading coming in for what is coming up in the next few weeks for Mr. Lynn. Let's have a look. And we go poppity, poppity, pop, pop, pop. Are we going? Are we dropping? There we go. It was a slow drop, wasn't it? That was like slow motion or something. Right then. So the present. Ooh. Ace of Wands reversed. 7 of Cups reversed. Sorry, the past, the present, and the future. Oh, 10 of Swords. Right. So we've got the Ace of Wands coming up in the recent past. So this is the energy that's going into where you are now. Ace of Wands is all about a new project, okay? A new start, a new project, a new something that has happened recently to do with your confidence building, okay? And it might not have gone the way you hoped it has. The reason I'm saying that is because it's reversed. So it's either something that you weren't planning on doing, or it's something that has gone maybe a little bit askew, if you know what I mean. Now, the thing with the Ace of Wands is that whenever it comes up, it is talking about that new energy that's coming in, that new, you know, the new broom cleanest, or whatever the sweeps clean. You know what I'm trying to say, right? The new energy always brings new hope, but it can also get rid of positive things that were there. It can also have a bit of unexpected results because it's something different. It's something you haven't done before. So whatever this is, whatever this confidence building element is, I've just realized the light isn't on. There you go. Whatever this confidence building thing is, if it hasn't gone right first time around, don't give up on it. If you are trying to make a fresh start with something, if you're trying to, you know, start some mindfulness, or if you're trying to start some meditation and it's not worked immediately, then again, keep trying it. It does feel, because it's reversed, normally I would say it's been brought to you, but I don't think this has. This feels very much like you've made some sort of effort to do something different, and because you've tried, because it's not gone the exact way you wanted, that this is why we've got this reverse. And now it's almost like you want to give up. Don't give up on it. Whatever it is, if there's something you're trying to do to better yourself, even if it's not going right initially, don't give up on it. Keep trying. Try. Because in the present, we've got this 7 of Cups. And Cups is, again, all about emotions. You know that by now. But the 7 is about difficult choices. There's lots of gifts here. And it's about, I mean, when I say difficult choices, right? This is the best type of difficult choice to have. What gift do I want? Do you know what I mean? I mean, some of them, look, are maybe not the best gift, like a snake, or I think that's a griffin or a dragon. You know, don't get me wrong, I love my dragons, but maybe not the best gift. A stone face. I mean, you know, what are you going to do with a stone face? Do you know what I mean? Or a glowing robed figure. I mean, this almost looks like, you know, Jesus with a bloody with a sheet on top of him playing a ghost. Do you know what I mean? This is going to be one of those things where you've got lots of like we've got a winning wreath, but it's got a skull attached to it. So all of these decisions have repercussions. You know, even this that looks almost like a castle, doesn't it? It looks like a castle on a hill. Well, you got to pay the heating bill for that. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you decide, There's going to be downsides and upsides to whatever the decisions are around you right now. But it does feel like you are the one who's able to make this choice. Okay. So you're able to go, do you know what? Actually, of all of these, I think I'm going to choose the bubblegum jewels and the bit of gold chain or whatever. I'm going to choose that one, actually. Thank you. Because that looks the least of a bad decision. Do you know what I mean? But again, that choice is yours to make at the moment, and it's to do with your emotions. It's to do with, you know, your future plans and all of that you've got in place. It just feels like you're in a bit of a sticky wicket, as they say. Now we do have the 10 of Swords to come. Okay, don't worry too much, right? It is the 10 of Swords. It is, you know, the death of 1,000 cuts, as I always say with it. And it does show like a particularly bad situation that is kind of overflowing. But this doesn't necessarily mean the end. This could actually represent the end of a bad situation, because sometimes with the 10 of Swords, it can talk about the way things end. It could talk about whatever this decision is ending badly for you, but it could also talk about whatever the situation is here. Maybe that comes to an end. Maybe next month, or next month, even into April, maybe you get the final flourish of something that, once that dies down, once that ends, allows you to start again in a whole new way. Do you know what I mean? Because the 10 is, I always say, the 9 is full, the 10 is overflowing. Well, in this case, the 9 represents sleeplessness. The 10 represents kind of, you know, this person is unalived. Now, that doesn't mean that anybody around you is going to be unalived. It could be that this person is actually the person that's been causing trouble in your life, situation that's been causing you trouble and causing you all these difficult choices. Well, once that choice is made, it's like this leads you to getting rid of this concern once and for all. Does that make sense? It's almost like you've got to make this choice, this emotional choice, and once you make it, that then seals the decision. And whatever this problem is that you've been dealing with, it's kind of like the last nail in the coffin, and that's when you know that bit's over, that bit's done. It's time to completely move forward. Does that make sense? Because it's not the normal answer I would give to the 10 of Swords, but it feels like that is right. It doesn't feel like this is the standard answer. And again, I don't know why. I've just got to go and trust Wispy, who gives me the feeling about the cards. And I'm feeling here that actually this isn't overwhelming negativity, overwhelming hurdles and struggles and too much to deal with. It's like this is actually the end of something that you've been trying to decide on, or the end of something you've been fighting with. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you survive it, but this other thing doesn't, whatever that other thing is. Anyway, it actually feels quite positive, even though we start off with a reversal and this difficult. I mean, of all the cups, this is probably the least lovely, the least happy, the least fluffy of the cards, because it's talking about that difficult emotional decision. But once it's been made, it's been made, and you can then move forward with that decision that you've made, happy that that was the right decision, whatever it is. Once you've made that decision, whatever was troubling you about that decision goes away. Hopefully, my darling, that makes sense. I really, really hope it does. But again, thank you ever so much for your question this evening. Right, everybody. Oh God, blinding you. Sorry. That is going to be the last question tonight. As it says at the bottom, thank you very much to my coffee club members. That is absolutely hugely important. So yeah, thank you very much for that. I do have blind date. I really want that. What was it going to be? What was the jingle that I was just doing that for? I can't remember when I said, oh, I'll make that into a jingle. I can't remember what it was for. Can someone tell me quickly? We got like 1 minute left before I end. What was I doing that for? I can't remember now. I can't remember. My brain went on to do a reading and deleted that information. Do you try and make the member one, but you're normally driving your son to D&D? do you know what? In all my years of nerddom, I have never played Dungeons and Dragons. I feel like I've just lost 25 nerd points. I'm really sorry. I am a very, very, very happily committed geek and nerd girl. I love all the normal nerdy geeky stuff. I saw the cartoon growing up. I loved the cartoon, but it wasn't really in my circle growing up, so I never got to play it. But yeah, I see again. I've got no idea. See, it just makes me think about the cartoon from the 80s. Oh, thank you, my darling. Thank you. Your son's a huge thingy as well. I don't know what that is. I don't know what Baldur's Gate is. I don't know what that is. But anyway, thank you. I know I'm going to have to watch this back. Holland, and work out what it... Oh, no, that wasn't the question. That one. I'm going to have to watch it back and work out what that was. But anyway, thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. I've had a really nice evening. I hope you have as well. If you got answers to your questions, thank you very much for being here. If you didn't get answers to your questions, stay tuned for Sunday evening is our next live stream, 7 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. for our wonderful channel members over on the... Don't do that, Ed. I don't want to lose 50 points. I can lose 20. I don't want to lose 50. But join us over there for our members only space, for our members only chat at 6 p.m. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow evening, the podcast will be up. So absolutely take care of that. I'll make it available to members in the morning if I've got it edited overnight. If not, it might go up on Thursday as a little thingy day. What's it called? Leap year day. It might be a leap year podcast. But yeah. Anyway, hope that helps everybody. I've had a really good evening tonight. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, much love to you, much love to the mods, and thank you so much for everybody who subscribed. Thank you for my channel members. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you for everybody watching this. Thank you to you on the live replay. No, on the replays, as well as you on the live. And I will see you again on Sunday PM at 6 p.m. for the members and 7 for the normal live stream, if that makes sense. Till next time, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.